What would you do if someone humiliated you at work, not knowing you were the most powerful person in the building? She was a simple woman, wearing a plain dress, quietly doing her job. No designer clothes, no expensive makeup, just kindness in her eyes. But that day everything changed. An elite coworker, full of pride and arrogance, picked up a cold Coke can and threw it straight at her. Everyone laughed. No one knew her true identity. What happened next? It shocked the entire office, and taught everyone a lesson they would never forget. The office was buzzing with laughter, the sound of heels clicking on the marble floor, and the faint aroma of expensive coffee floating in the air. This was the headquarters of Valorian Corp, a billion-dollar empire known for its luxury fashion line. The employees were polished, dressed in designer clothes, exuding confidence as they walked past the glass walls. In the middle of this glamorous world stood Aisha, a woman in her early 30s, wearing a simple navy blue kurta with a plain white scarf draped neatly over her shoulders. She didn't wear any flashy jewelry, just a small silver ring and a wristwatch that had seen better days. While everyone else flaunted branded handbags and stilettos, Aisha wore comfortable flats and carried a modest leather bag. She had only joined the office a week ago as an administrative helper, doing small tasks for different departments. Most people didn't notice her, and those who did, looked down on her. But Aisha didn't care. She came to work with a smile every day, greeting everyone politely, doing her job quietly. She didn't need attention. She didn't need validation. But that day the universe decided to test her patience. "Ooh, can someone please get me a Coke? I'm dying here." The sharp voice came from Sonia, the so-called queen of the office. Sonia was everything the corporate world admired. Tall, stunning, always dressed in designer clothes, and with an attitude sharp enough to cut glass. She worked in the marketing department. But she behaved like the CEO. She was sitting with a group of colleagues at the corner table, her long manicured nails tapping on her iPhone as she scrolled through Instagram. Aisha heard her request. She wasn't assigned to Sonia, but she thought, why not help? So, with a smile, she walked to the fridge, grabbed an ice-cold Coke, and walked towards Sonia's table. "Here you go," Aisha said softly, placing the can on the table. Sonia didn't even look up. She took the can, opened it, and took a sip. But then something inside her snapped. "This is warm," Sonia said. Scrunching her nose in disgust, Aisha looked confused. I just took it from the fridge. It's cold." Sonia finally looked at her, eyes filled with arrogance. "Are you arguing with me? You think you know better than me?" Aisha shook her head quickly. "No, I just..." Before she could finish, Sonia stood up, her face twisted with anger, and in one swift motion, she threw the Coke straight at Aisha's chest. The cold liquid splashed all over Aisha's kurta, soaking her scarf and dripping onto the shiny marble floor. Gasps filled the office. People stopped what they were doing. All eyes were on Aisha. For a second, there was silence. Then came the laughter. Sonia smirked, her friends giggling behind her. "Oops, my bad. Guess simple people don't know how to do simple things." Aisha stood frozen, Coke dripping down her hands. Her heart pounded in her chest. She felt heat rising to her cheeks, not from anger, but from humiliation. The whispers started. Why is she even here? Probably needs the money. Look at her clothes. People like her don't belong in a place like this. Aisha wanted to disappear. She wanted to run to the restroom and cry. But she didn't. Instead she took a deep breath, smiled faintly, and said softly, "It's okay." She picked up the empty can from the floor, walked away calmly, and disappeared into the restroom. In the restroom, Aisha locked herself in a stall, her hands trembling as she wiped the Coke off her kurta with tissues. Her scarf was ruined. Her heart felt heavy. Why are people so cruel? What did I do wrong? Tears welled up in her eyes, but she blinked them away. Crying here would only make things worse. She looked at herself in the mirror, forcing a smile. "Stay calm, Aisha. Just a few more hours. Then you can go home." But deep inside something broke. Not because of the Coke, not because of the laughter, but because this wasn't the first time. Every day since she joined, Sonia had found new ways to humiliate her, and Aisha had taken it silently. But not today. Today things would change. Meanwhile, in the CEO's office, a tall man in a tailored black suit stood by the window, looking down at the city skyline. His presence was commanding, broad shoulders, sharp jawline, eyes that held authority. His name was Zion Khan, the CEO of Valorian Corp. He was reviewing reports when his assistant walked in, looking nervous. "Sir, there was an incident in the marketing department." Zion frowned. "What kind of incident?" The assistant hesitated. Sonia threw a Coke at one of the admin helpers. Zion's jaw tightened. "What? Yes sir. It caused a bit of a scene. Zayan didn't like scenes. Especially in his company. He turned sharply. Where is Sonia now? In the break area sir. Laughing about it with her friends. Zayan's eyes darkened. Laughing, he walked out of his office, his polished shoes echoing through the corridor as employees moved out of his way. His presence demanded respect. Silence followed him wherever he went. As he approached the break area, the laughter grew louder. Sonia was still at the table, sipping another drink, flipping her hair like nothing happened. Zayan stopped, his eyes scanned the room, no sign of Aisha, just Sonia and her group. Zayan said, his voice cold. Everyone froze. Sonia looked up. Oh Mr. Khan. We were just... Where is she? He interrupted, his tone sharp. Sonia blinked. Oh, the woman you threw coke at. Sonia laughed nervously. Oh that, it was just a joke, she didn't mind, trust me, she's just a helper, you know how. Enough, Zayan said, his voice like steel. The room fell silent. Go to my office. Now? Sonia's face drained of color. She opened her mouth to protest but stopped when she saw the fire in his eyes. She stood up slowly and walked away, her heels clicking nervously on the floor. Zayan turned to the others. If I hear laughter about this again, you'll regret it. The group swallowed hard and nodded. Zayan clenched his fists. He hated bullies. But this wasn't just about company image. This was personal. Because the woman Sonia humiliated wasn't just any employee. She was Aisha Khan, his wife. And no one humiliated his wife. Sonia sat stiffly in the CEO's office, her perfectly manicured fingers trembling as she clutched her designer handbag. The office was cold. Not because of the temperature, but because of the man standing behind the mahogany desk. Zayan Khan's expression was unreadable, but his eyes burned with quiet fury. He placed his hands on the desk and leaned forward slightly. Do you know why you're here, Sonia? His voice was calm, too calm. Sonia swallowed hard, trying to maintain her composure. Mr. Khan, it was just a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. Zayan repeated slowly, his tone slicing through the air like a blade. You threw a drink at someone. In my company, you humiliated an employee in front of everyone. Do you think this is a playground? Sonia's heart thudded in her chest. She had never seen him this angry. She forced a nervous laugh. Sir, it wasn't like that.
She didn't even complain.
She's just a helper, sir. Not even a full-time employee. Honestly, I think she... Stop talking. The sharpness in his voice made her flinch. Zayan took a deep breath, walked to the large window overlooking the city, and then turned to face her. His next words hit Sonia like a truck. She's my wife. For a moment Sonia thought she misheard. What? Zayan's eyes locked on hers, cold and unyielding. The woman you humiliated, Aisha Khan, is my wife. The legal owner of this company. The woman who signs your paychecks. Sonia's lips parted in shock, her mind spinning. His wife. Her throat went dry. I didn't know. Of course you didn't, Zayan said sharply. Because you judged her by her clothes. By her simplicity. By your shallow standards. Sonia's face flushed red. Sir, please, I swear I didn't mean. Enough. Zayan's voice was steel. You will go back to your desk. You will write a resignation letter. And before you leave this building you will apologize to my wife. In front of everyone. Sonia's heart sank to the floor. Sir, please. This job is everything to me. Should have thought about that before throwing a Coke can at someone. Zayan snapped. Get out. Tears welled in Sonia's eyes as she stood up, her legs shaky. She opened her mouth to plead again, but the look on Zayan's face silenced her. She walked out slowly, feeling the weight of every step. Meanwhile Aisha sat quietly in the restroom, her kurta still damp. She had calmed down, but her heart was heavy. Maybe I don't belong here, she thought. Maybe I should just quit. She opened her phone to call Zayan. Her finger hovered over his name when the door swung open. Aisha. Her heart jumped. She looked up and saw him. Zayan, standing at the doorway. His presence was like a wall of strength, and for the first time that day, Aisha felt safe. Zayan, what are you doing here? She whispered, glancing around. Someone might see. I don't care. He said firmly, walking in and gently taking her hand. His eyes softened as he looked at her stained clothes. Did she hurt you? Aisha shook her head, blinking back tears. No, just embarrassed me. In front of everyone. Zayan clenched his jaw. Not anymore. Come with me. Before she could protest, he wrapped his arm around her and led her out of the restroom. The office was silent when they walked in together. Employees stared, eyes wide, whispers spreading like wildfire. No one had ever seen Zayan Khan so close to an admin helper. But then they saw it. The way his hand rested protectively on Aisha's back. The way his eyes softened when he looked at her. Sonia froze near her desk, her heart pounding. She knew what was coming. Zion stopped in the middle of the office, his voice commanding attention. Everyone listen up. All heads turned. This woman, he said gently pulling Aisha forward, is Aisha Khan, my wife, the co-owner of Valorian Corp. From today, she will hold the position of executive director. Gasps filled the room. Sonia's knees went weak. Her friends looked like they'd seen a ghost. Zion's voice hardened, and I will not tolerate anyone disrespecting her, or any employee, ever again. This company was built on values, not vanity. He turned to Sonia, his eyes cold. Now, Sonia. What do you have to say? All eyes turned to her. She opened her mouth, her voice shaking. I'm sorry ma'am, I didn't know I. Louder. Zion said. I'm sorry, Sonia almost shouted, tears streaming down her face. Please forgive me. Aisha looked at her, her heart softening for a moment. She stepped forward slowly, her voice calm and gentle. I forgive you, she said. Not because you deserve it but because hate doesn't heal anything. I hope one day, you'll learn to treat everyone with respect, no matter what they wear. The office was silent. People stared at Aisha, some with admiration, others with shame. Zion turned to Sonia. Leave your resignation on my desk. Security will escort you out. Sonia broke down crying as she walked away, humiliated in front of the same people who once admired her. Later that evening, the office was empty. Aisha stood by the window in Zion's office, looking out at the city lights. He walked up behind her and wrapped his arms around her waist. Why didn't you tell them who you were from the start? He asked softly. Aisha smiled faintly. Because I didn't want people to respect me because of my name. I wanted to see how they treat someone they think has nothing. Zion kissed her forehead gently. And now you know. Aisha's eyes shimmered with tears. Yes. And I also know something else. What's that? That kindness is rare, but it's powerful. Zion held her tighter. And you, my love, are the proof of that. The city lights twinkled like stars, but inside that office, the real light came from the woman who chose forgiveness over hate. If this story touched your heart, hit the likey button and subscribe to Kingness Stories for more inspiring tales that restore faith in humanity.